We live in an age obsessed with the new. New technology, new hacks, new solutions to problems we didn't even know we had. Every day, there's a new trend, a new app, a new piece of advice promising to finally make us feel enough, productive, fulfilled. But in the middle of this endless noise, I've found myself drawn not to the new, but to the old. Ancient words, old philosophies, timeless questions. Because while the world has changed at lightning speed, the human heart hasn't. We still long for the same things: peace, purpose, connection, meaning. When I read ancient wisdom, I feel like I'm finally exhaling after holding my breath for too long. Because these teachings don't try to sell me a shortcut to happiness. They remind me that the real answers have always been simple, and deeply human. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This is a line I return to whenever I'm overwhelmed by the world. Because modern life wants us to believe we can control everything: our image, our outcomes, how others perceive us. But the more we try to control the uncontrollable, the more anxious and lost we feel. Ancient wisdom brings me back to what is truly mine: my response, my values, my inner state. It teaches me that freedom isn't found in manipulating circumstances, but in mastering my mind. The obstacle is the way. We're taught to avoid pain at all costs. To fix, numb, escape. But ancient thinkers understood that growth is not found in comfort. It's found in how we meet difficulty. When you stop seeing obstacles as interruptions and start seeing them as teachers, life softens. You stop resisting every hard moment and start asking, what is this here to teach me? It is not death that a man should fear, but never beginning to live. We are so busy trying to prolong life, optimize it, control it, that we forget to actually live it. Ancient wisdom doesn't obsess over lifespan. It focuses on depth. On the quality of each breath, each conversation, each choice. It asks, what will you regret not doing? What unlived life still sits inside you, waiting for permission? These teachings are more relevant now than ever because we are drowning in distractions. We consume more information in a day than some people did in a lifetime centuries ago. We've confused knowing more with understanding ourselves. We've mistaken busyness for meaning. We've built lives so crowded with noise that we can no longer hear our own hearts. Ancient wisdom invites us to return to silence. To stillness. To the simple, uncomfortable, beautiful truths we keep trying to avoid. He who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow. This line taught me to stop chasing surface-level goals and dig for my why. Because without a deeper purpose, every setback feels like a threat. But when you have a why, challenges become fuel, not walls. Modern life tells us that we can buy our way into meaning, through possessions, followers, achievements. But the ancients knew, nothing external can substitute for an inner foundation. Without that foundation, even success tastes empty. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. We are surrounded by a culture that celebrates more money, more attention, more constant growth. But more isn't always better. Sometimes, more is what buries us. True freedom is not needing excess to feel whole. It's the ability to sit quietly with yourself and feel at home. Ancient wisdom feels radical today because it invites us to slow down. To stop running from ourselves. To embrace simplicity as a superpower, not a failure. We think complexity is intelligence. But often, simplicity is the highest form of mastery. It takes courage to live simply in a world designed to keep you chasing. No man is free who is not master of himself. We talk so much about freedom, financial freedom, location freedom, freedom of choice. But the most important freedom is inner freedom. The ability to choose your thoughts, your reactions, your path. To not be enslaved by other people's expectations, or by your own fears. This is why ancient wisdom isn't outdated. It's eternal. Because it speaks to the part of us that doesn't change, our longing to feel at peace within ourselves. When I started living by these old teachings, my life didn't suddenly become easier. But it became clearer. I stopped needing to win every argument. I stopped measuring my worth by productivity. I stopped needing every moment to be optimized for efficiency. Instead, I started asking different questions. Did I act with integrity today? Did I honor my values? Did I show up with presence, even in the mundane? Did I create something meaningful, even if no one else saw it? Ancient wisdom reorients us. It pulls us out of the shallow race and reminds us of depth. It whispers that the goal isn't to escape hardship, but to grow through it. That real success is quiet. That a good life isn't the loudest one, but the one most deeply felt. The greatest wealth is to live content with little. What if your life was enough as it is? What if the next level wasn't up, but inward? What if the real flex wasn't how much you accumulate, but how little you actually need to feel free? These are questions I didn't find in a self-help book or an algorithmic recommendation. I found them in lines written centuries ago, by people who didn't have smartphones or social media or endless to-do lists. And yet, they understood the human soul better than any trend ever could. This is why ancient wisdom is more useful now than ever. Because it calls us back to ourselves. Back to the basics we've abandoned in our rush to be more, to do more, to have more. It reminds us that peace was never hidden. It was just waiting for us to slow down long enough to see it. The world will keep telling you to move faster, aim higher, chase louder. Ancient wisdom will always invite you to go deeper, breathe slower, live truer. At the end of it all, what we're really searching for isn't out there. It's within. It always has been.